I have a different kind of question for you, Simon. In the New York Times today, there's an editorial by an American, who's calling for the United States to do a deal with China where we would remove our military we would eliminate our military relationship with Taiwan in exchange for China to basically eliminate our debt to China. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's kind of interesting that it's featured prominently on the editorial page of the New York Times. How do you see Taiwan affecting the broad set of relationships in Asia? How do you see the Taiwan situation playing out? And if the United States were to begin a process of disengaging from Taiwan, what implications do you think that would have for the region?
I just spent a week in Taiwan last month, both on the economic front and then talking about the politics. It was during the time of the Taiwan arms deal. So it was clearly front and center. No one talked about the New York Times possibility. And I must say, I must congratulate New York Times for always thinking out of the box. But this is so out of the box that I think that it would really terrify all of Asia. I would say three things in the interest of time. First, the Taiwan-China relation actually has been the one thing I'd credit China for handling very well in this last year. Short of the arms deal, the understanding that followed the economic framework agreement has actually made that relationship much more stable than it was, say, 2 years ago. So why shift that now? The second thing is a crazy idea of forgiving American debt. The trade figures I saw has showed it coming down. And what I've talked about really is the hard way to erase those trade deficits. That is, actually making things that Asians want and Asians will buy happily, and of course domestically as well. And now, if you just simply sort of think of let's get out of the hole, but after that, unless you re-gear your economy, you're going to go back into the hole again. So I think that's a no-go. The third thing is the signal it sends to the rest of Asia. It's the interesting pause right now that the others in Asia, like Singapore and ASEAN, we're looking to China because in this gloomy economy, it's the only thing that seems likely to grow. But because of the strategic issues I've talked about or mentioned earlier, we're looking to America for assurance. And that's where I think Obama and Clinton particularly have really been there at this point in time. Very importantly, to say that strategically we are there. And pushing through an arms deal, not as much as the Taiwanese wanted, but still pushing through that deal, was very significant for the rest of us to say America is there. And there's a New York Times article, which we shouldn't take too seriously, I think, hopefully. If it was true, would really send repercussions the wrong way. Gates, in one of his last speeches, was in Singapore at the Shangri-La Dialogue. And he said kind of a mixed message. He said, we are here, which was reassuring. But a couple of sentences later, he said, don't ask us exactly how many troops there will be. And that's underlying this nervousness. There is a sense that with the deficits and the outlook going ahead, America may have the interest, as Obama has shown, but may lack the capacity in terms of really putting money and people on the ground. And the third question is the will. And this signs of, Pranag touched on the UN bill and other issues with Asia, makes us question whether the American body politic has that kind of will to remain engaged with Asia.